Hello friends, my name is SagarMore and today in this video we are going to learn HTML class and IDs. So let's start. Earlier we have seen HTML block level and inline elements, and today in this chapter we are going to learn HTML classes and IDs. There are differences between classes and IDs and that we are going to learn today. Let's start with the classes first. In this chapter we will learn how to write a class, how to write a class in HTML and CSS both ways, what is the use of class, and in which scenario you should be using it. So let's start. The keyword class is attribute in HTML element. Whenever you want to write class to an element, you can just write class attribute to div, paragraph, heading, or anything, whichever element you want to select for class attribute. Write down your class attribute like this: class is equal to, and in double quotes you should be writing the value. Whatever value means the name of class you have written in your CSS, that only you have to put here. Let's consider this city class is created in internal CSS or external CSS. So this particular class has these many properties, and these properties will have some effects in it, and that's what you want to apply to your element. In that case, you just have to write this city means class name as a value of the class attribute, and it will apply all these properties to this division. Not only that, but also this division, since it has applied the class city and last element as well. Irrespective of what selector it is, means what element or tag it is, the properties will get applied to all divisions here. But if you have paragraphs heading, then also it will work. And here is the output. At the left hand side you can see all the properties are getting applied to each of the divisions. If I change this div to, let's say, h1, and if I don't have all this text here, if I close this h1 and if I write my name here, it will also have these effects. See the output. Okay, so this is the way we write class in HTML. You need not to have this CSS selector for it. You can write class irrespective of you are having a CSS selector written already or not. But that will not have any effect on the element, right? Because if CSS class is not present, what you will do with this CS city class here, right? Of course, it has a meaning in JavaScript, but here we are looking into HTML only. So we will focus on this scenario only. Now let's say there is a note class written in CSS and I want to apply it to span element and another span element. That is also possible, and this important text is getting highlighted in red color. And if you look at this font size, here it is 120%. So 120% of what? The heading in which this span element is given. The heading, let's say, have let's say it has 30 pixel size, right, as a font size. And when you write font size 120% to this class note, which is inside h1, then it will have 120% of 30 pixels, since 30 pixel is the size of h1, let's say. And that's why important keyword is big in size compared to other h1 text. The same way here, let's say the paragraph size is 16 pixel, and we have applied this important selector or the tag here, and we have written class note to it. So this text which is in note class becomes 120% bigger than entire text. So entire text is this paragraph which has, let's say, 16 pixel, and 120 pixel of 16 pixel is what we have here for this text, and that's why it looks bigger. So these classes are there, and you must have noticed that these classes have a repeated use. So you can use it here, here, or anywhere you want, and the effect will get applied. So classes are something which you can again and again use in your HTML, and there is no restrictions. So you can use n number of classes on your web page or website, and it can be the same name as well. Remember that class names are case sensitive. So if you write this XYZ and use this XYZ, then both are different things. Okay, so we just saw how to write classes in CSS also and in HTML also, and how to use that. And multiple classes, we have also seen that we can apply classes to any of the elements, but here they are talking about multiple classes, means applying multiple classes to one element. Let's say we have city class and main class written in our CSS, and if we want to apply both the classes on one element, we can just use two classes separated by space. So class is the attribute in which the value is city space main. So instead of comma, you should consider space for separating two different classes while giving it on HTML element. So this is the syntax: city space main, and if you have another class, let's say ABC, then also it will go here with save space. So this is the way to write multiple classes to one element, and that's why you will be able to see the output this way, that text align center was written on main class, which is this main class, and city class is having background color, color and padding, and that's why background color, color and padding is applied to this output. And this main class, which we have applied it here on the same element h2, that has effect of text align center, and that's why the text is center for this and not for others, because other two h2s don't have main class. Let's say you want to text align center to this second h2 as well, so you just add that class and it will work. See, so this is the way we use multiple classes on same elements, and different elements can also share same class. That also we have seen that it is paragraph and it is h2, but both can have same class because these effects will apply on this paragraph and h1 as well. Okay, so as I mentioned that in JavaScript, class has different meaning to it because it can be utilized there as well. So city class, if you have written on one element or multiple elements, let's say, then all the elements, get elements is the method there, all the elements which are declared by class name city get selected, and to each of the element this for loop returns, and for each element it applies display none, and we won't be able to see that. So this is done with JavaScript. These are the classes. Here you can see city class is applied to each of the h2. Here we have not applied CSS here, but when I click on this hide element button, what it does is hide element button will call my function on my click, and that my function is what doing what it is, just displaying none, means it is just hiding all the classes which are declared by city, and you will be able to see the output once I click on this button. Let me click. Yeah, all the headings are gone. So this is the use in JavaScript. You need not to know it right now since we are learning HTML. Let's see the next chapter, which is ID. So what we have learned from class chapter, we have learned how to create the classes in CSS, how to use classes on HTML element, how to apply or add multiple classes to same element, or how you can use same class to multiple elements. Now let's see ID. So ID is something which is not reusable, because ID in nature has a unique ID, means it is like a roll number. When you are in school, you have unique roll numbers assigned to you, and in that class or in that particular your class, or what we can say is your school or your batch, will have only one roll number assigned to you. So IDs are something which are uniquely known, and it is like your email ID or mobile number which is unique to you only, and it is not shared across others. So this is unique id, and this id is something which you should not be repeating again and again. So let me show you the example. Hash my header, and this is the CSS properties which I have applied to this ID, and IDs are denoted by hash, since class is denoted by dot, right? While creating the class in CSS form, we start it with the dot, and the same way in CSS we start ID selector with the help of hash. So whatever the ID name you want to give, you can, and all the properties which are inside that my header will get applied to this particular element. Instead of class, we have to use ID attribute, and we have to use the name which we have given for our ID. When you do that, the CSS will get applied. See, this is the output. But the thing is, you could have created the class, right? You can do that, but if the element is unique in nature, like header or footer on our website are unique and not repeated again and again in that same page, right? So header is unique, footer is unique, it is not repeated on that page again. In that case, you can use ID because you know that it is unique in nature. And when you apply that ID with the help of ID attribute and ID name, the CSS will get applied. But main thing I mentioned is you should not be repeating the IDs. Like you should not write this ID attribute again and use the same name to multiple elements. So here ID my header is declared 3 times, and it should not happen because to that element CSS will get applied. See this, CSS is getting applied, but the thing is in JavaScript it won't work. It won't work for all these elements, just like the classes, right? Unlike classes, ID is unique, and in class example in JavaScript we saw that when I clicked on that button, all classes with city elements uh, got hidden, right? But that will not happen here in this form if we have used ID, because in JavaScript it is must to have a unique ID on a web page. Of course, you can do something like this, like XYZ is written to this, ABC is written to this, and in my header is written to this, because these three are unique ID in nature and they are not repeating on the same page again, right? So this is the way you can write IDs, and they are unique in nature, and you should not have one ID on a page again. And that is the difference between class and ID I just explained, and it will be asked in your interviews as well if you are appearing for front-end web development. Okay, so there is one more use in ID, and we have seen this in links chapter when we saw how to create internal bookmark and external bookmark. You can find the video in my channel for that. And this use is very unique in nature because it is very crucial. You must have seen the frequently asked questions web page on any of the website where questions are listed in the form of links, and when you click on that question which you want to get the answer for, the web page gets scrolled automatically to the answer. And you must have also seen that at the bottom right corner there is a up arrow icon, and when you click on that up arrow, the website scrolls all way down, all way up to the header, right? So that kind of functionality we can build here with the help of this ID. So for this h2 ID is given c4, whichever ID you want you can give, but make sure it is case sensitive so you don't miss the spelling, and capital small also. So let's say for chapter 4 heading they have given c4 as ID. The same ID you have to give as a reference to the anchor tag so that web page will get scrolled, and this is called as internal bookmarking. You can say bookmark as well. So this is one link, this is second link, chapter 4 and chapter 10. And when I want to go to chapter 4, let's say it is getting scrolled, right? The web page is automatically getting scrolled. See again, I clicked on chapter 4 and web page is getting scrolled to chapter 4. If I click on chapter 10, it will get scrolled to C10 ID, which is assigned here to this element ID C10. And while referring to that ID for this particular link, what you have to give is you have to give href is equal to hash, means hypertext reference, starting with hash, which is nothing but the ID or reference point of your ID, hash, and your ID name. So actual ID name which you have used here for chapter 10, that you have to refer here, so that it will make a connection in between both of them. And when you click on this chapter 10, see, the web page is getting scrolled to that particular ID. The same way, what we can do is we can create our own, let's say XYZ, and chapter, whichever chapter, I will say XYZ chapter, and this XYZ ID I have to give somewhere here in between. So let's say we can add it to here, ID XYZ, to chapter 6 I have added. Now what will happen, this new link which is jump to XYZ is attached to XYZ ID, and which is here. And now when I click on this link, it will get scrolled to chapter 6. Let's see the output. I clicked on it and here is chapter script. So the scroll bar is automatically scrolled to chapter 6, and this is called as bookmark. And we can have external bookmark as well. Only the thing is, in external bookmark you have to give the page name or the page path where you want to open the page. It will get opened when you click on this link, but the scroll bar also gets scrolled at the same time on this particular web page when it opens, and it will scroll till this point where this ID is given. So, and that is called as external bookmarking. Okay, but make sure you have C4 ID or whichever ID you want to bookmark as external bookmark on this particular page which you are trying to refer, and then only scroll bar will get scrolled to that point. And as I mentioned, in JavaScript ID is unique. So see this example here, instead of class, now this time we are seeing get element by ID here, and get element by ID here it is written. This method will check for this my header ID which we have provided here. So it is looking for my header ID, it has got this element, and on that element, let's say we have to write a text, have a nice day. So for this element, the current text is hello world. Instead of that, let's say we want to write have a nice day. It will work. See this. This is the this h1 element. I clicked on this button and the text got changed to have a nice day. But if you have multiple IDs, which is not recommended, let's say, then it will not work for others. See, I clicked on this text and the only first ID is getting replaced with this HTML text we have given, and that's why the IDs are unique. I hope you understood that you should not be writing same ID again in a same web page, because it will not work in JavaScript and it is not a recommended practice. So always have unique IDs on the same web page, and they should not repeat. Okay, I think you have got the point what I'm trying to explain. And here we just finished our this chapter, which is ID also. So we covered classes and IDs, both the things. Tomorrow we can cover iframes, and that is something important. You should not miss it. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so that you will get to know when I am online, when I am live and streaming. So you will get the notification only if you subscribe and click on the bell icon. And if you think you can help others to learn HTML, you can just share this video in your friend circle or group. Okay, like this video if you want to support me and appreciate my knowledge, and thank you for watching. Have a good nice time.